I'm Hunter.
And I'm Jennifer. Today we are in day 16 of the Bible recap, doing Genesis 12 through 15.
First, we're going to start out with the quick summary overview of what we have read. With chapter 12, we get Abram. We see Abram being told by God to leave his father, leave his country, leave all his family, and go to where God has instructed him to go. God tells him he's going to give land to his descendants and make him a great nation. Then at the end of chapter 12, we see him and Sarai move into Egypt, where in Egypt he tells a lie to the Pharaoh to save his own skin, to save his own life. He said that his wife was actually his sister, and then God came and punished the Pharaoh and all the people of Egypt because of the lie that Abram actually told. Then move to 13. That's where we see Abram and Lot.
It was his cousin.
Yeah. And so we see that Abraham, they now left Egypt. They're traveling to Negev.
Negev, yeah.
To Negev. And we see Abram is accumulating wealth and riches and flocks and herds. And then we see also Lot is also accumulating a lot of riches, a lot of animals, a lot of herds, and they just no longer can be together. They're too wealthy. Their animals just can't flourish because there's not enough land for each of them. So Abram now asked Lot, "Hey, whatever land you want, you tell me. You take that, and I'll take the other. Or if you want this one, I'll take that one." So then Lot goes and he chooses the best. He's like, this is all water and there's plenty of pasture lands for me, and this is going to be good for my flock. Right. Okay. So Lot, he moves out to Sodom, and then
Abram.
Then Abram moves to Canaan.
Yeah, okay.
To the land of Canaan. And we now see Abram is talking to God, and God tells him, look as far as you can see in every direction, north, south, east, and west. I am giving this land, as far as you can see, to you and your descendants as a permanent possession. And I will give you so many descendants that, like the dust of this earth, they cannot be counted. And then, there's the promise. Now he builds an altar for God, he praises him, and then move to 14, and now we hear that Lot has now been captured. There was a great battle between all the kings of this area, and he gets captured, and Abram now decides he's going to come and rescue Lot. He rescues Lot, and then Melchizedek, the king of Salem, actually is a priest of God. He is the king of this area, and Melchizedek blesses Abram. He says, blessed be Abraham by God Most High, and blessed be God Most High, who has defeated his enemies. He blesses Abram. Then he offers him all of what Abram has already recaptured and taken back from the kings that were defeated from the battle. But Abram says, no, I don't want anything, because then you can't say that I gave you this wealth. He said, I don't want none of it because only God will provide for me. And then in 15, we see God's covenant to Abram. He promises Abram that he's going to get all this land and then have a great nation, a multitude. He's going to be a father of nations.
And he's going to be protected by the Lord.
He is going to be protected by the Lord. And then a very important verse, at least to me, at verse 6, it says, Abraham believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith. He was just told that he was going to have so many descendants, just like the stars in the sky, as many as you can count. And he believed God. And because of that faith that he had, God said that he was righteous. And it just goes on, and there's just more. This whole chapter is about the covenant and promise that he makes to Abram. And then at the end of it, he makes kind of a prophecy almost, where he talks about the people being oppressed as slaves for over 400 years, and that he would then rescue them and they would come out of there very wealthy, which further goes to Moses. It shows Moses and their exodus through Egypt, away from Pharaoh. I just thought that was kind of like, I didn't see that the first time I've ever read this. So
No, I think that's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get into our study guide. All right. It's good to be done with Job. You know.
Yeah.
So day 16. Number 1 asks, why does God bless Abram? And what lesson can we take from this? So why does he bless Abram?
So I have a very simple answer, and it was the verse that I quoted in 15, verse 6. Because he has faith.
Yeah.
And if you go further, when he in like where is it at? I think it's in 12, where he believed God and followed God's word. Like God told him to leave his home and go, and he would be blessed.
Yeah, Abram did exactly as he was commanded.
Straight faith and belief that God is going to do this. Like, I believe you.
And obedience.
He was obedient, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so he was, blessed in return. What lesson can we take from this? Well, to have faith, be obedient.
Be obedient to God. Like trust that even if his way seems a little crazy, a little unusual, that he's going to provide. He's not a liar. Like,
yeah, he keeps his promises.
Keeps his promises, yeah.
Number 2 asks, who is Abram trying to protect by misleading Pharaoh? It was Sarai, his wife.
So if you
no, because
if you go to Genesis 12, verse 12 and 13. So in 12, he says, when the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Let's kill him, then we can have her. So please tell them you are my sister. Then they will spare my life and treat me well.
Right, yeah.
He was being selfish. He was worried about him getting harmed.
Yeah.
And
which is crazy.
He had faith in God, but he didn't believe that God would protect him in this moment.
Yeah. because his wife was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about you, but we need to make sure that my life is okay. So,
And don't matter what happens with you. You're you'll be alright. You're beautiful.
Yeah. The Pharaoh might marry you, but
Well, he tried.
Yeah, well.
He tried.
How do you think she responded in that? Because that's got to be a little.
I mean, she went along with it.
I guess.
Well, obviously, because she went into she married Pharaoh for a minute, and then the next day Pharaoh was like, "Get out, get out." God told me no. Get out.
Number 3 says it's a visual search. So look at a map of ancient Israel and locate the Dead Sea. Sodom would have been near Zoar, at the southern end of the Dead Sea. This is where Lot lived, from 1312. Now locate the city of Dan, near the north of Israel. This is where Abram chased Lot's pursuers to get him back. Chapter 14, verse 14.
So I went and did this with my Life Application Bible and used the image I had and then used the ruler that they gave. And it's anywhere from 160 miles to 200 and something. I couldn't get exact because it curved and but they chased him for that long.
Yeah, they chased him.
That's like driving 3 hours away. And they were doing this on horseback and camels and on their feet. He really pursued them very far and very hard.
Yeah.
Until they basically gave up.
Number 4 says, write down 4 facts about Melchizedek and his actions. No idea if I'm saying his name right, but that's what it's going to be. So, 4 facts about him. I mean, we definitely know, so he's the priest of God Most High, it said. And this is the first time we've seen anything about priests.
Yeah, this is the first. And this is also when we see the first evidence of a tithe.
Yeah.
Because Abram gave a tenth to him. Yeah. This is the first almost structure of kind of like a church in a sense.
Mm-hmm. The priest still praises God for Abram's victory. I thought that was neat, and I guess this is the first time that we get to see a priest doing priestly things. Mm-hmm. So blessings and other priest functions. So, because up until this point we haven't seen anything like that. So that was neat.
Yeah. So I have all of that. The other thing I put down, he's the king of Salem.
Sodom.
Nope.
Salem?
He's the king of Salem.
Yeah.
Yep. So, blah, 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 blah. Melchizedek, the king of Salem and a priest of God Most High. It's in verse 18. So he's the king of Salem. And then one thing I really saw about his action, he only cared about the captives. He wanted the people that were captured by the other people. He didn't care about riches. He was giving it all away. He just wanted back his people.
Right.
That shows a true king, somebody that is for his people.
Right, he's caring about his people. What I just noticed when we were talking was that it says the priest brought Abram some bread and wine.
He did say it. Oh, okay. I didn't. That didn't stick out.
Yeah. So I know later Jesus has bread and wine with his followers, and then
he has communion with.
And that's what he asks, to carry on after his death. So I thought that was pretty pretty
Yeah,
neat. And I
cool.
didn't catch that the first time, so
You know,
like,
I never noticed it, and I don't think I would have really noticed it like that if you didn't say something.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so
And then he gave him that, and then blessed him.
yes,
Like it was like this bread and wine is a blessing.
yeah.
Like and Jesus,
Well,
this
yeah.
is my body, this is my blood.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, and so yeah, I thought
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
that was a neat little random, piece. Whether or not it means anything, I don't know, but
No, that's
it's
cool
in
that
there.
it's there. Yeah.
Like why would it be in there if
Mm-hmm.
that. Number 5, and our last question for today. At this point in the story, what two tangible things does God promise to give Abram as a part of his blessing on him? And cite the references. So in 15 verses 4 and 5, he is promising to give him an heir and multitude of descendants. So it says, Then the Lord said to him, No, your servant will not be your heir, for you will have a son of your own who will be your heir. Then the Lord took Abram outside and said to him, Look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have. You have another one? I have more.
Like land and descendants. He gave Abram land.
15:7.
He gave him descendants. Like my references for Genesis 15:4-5, 15:18, then 13 verse 15 through 17.
So yeah, I have
This is all the places where God is promising that, like,
yeah.
and then He has them, like,
And then I have 15, 13 through 16, but that would be lumped in with one of yours.
yeah,
Because it's when, uh, let's see, he's talking about people being strangers to Egypt and the oppression for the 400 years, and then they're punished, and he frees them with great wealth. And Abram will die in peace. And then the people will have Israel. So all of that is it there. But that's all for today's questions. So now we can get to our journal. So today, for the things that you loved, learn, and notice, what do you have?
what I loved
Learned or noticed?
next. So in 13 verse 10, starting there, like this is where Lot and Abraham are deciding who's going to take what land or whatnot. I really, I don't know if I liked it, but I noticed that Lot says that the whole area was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, or the beautiful land of Egypt. Like then he chose for himself the whole Jordan Valley to the east of them. Like it looks like the Garden of Eden. Like that's kind of like imagery of it. Like I've seen pictures of like the Jordan River, like near Egypt and all that. Like it's beautiful. Like just imagine how the garden must have looked. Must still look, because I know the garden is somewhere out there.
I don't know.
It's hidden and blocked by cherubims.
Interesting.
No, we read that in Genesis, like the beginning of Genesis. It's guarded by the sword.
So I noticed, the Lord sends plagues on the Pharaoh for the marriage to Sarai. So, and the Lord's prophecy of the people in Egypt and the Exodus in 15:13. So when he starts, I thought that was pretty neat too. I do like because that prophecy, that was neat that he kind of shared that then with him, like, hey, this is what's gonna happen, but at the end, you're gonna die peacefully. You're gonna have tons of kids, and Israel will be yours. Like,
I also love in 15:6 where it talks about God called Abram righteous because of his faith.
yeah,
Like, I'm a big faith guy. I have
Oh.
lots of faith. Like, and like we live by faith. Like,
right.
if we don't have our faith, like we have nothing. We don't believe. We don't have that unshakable belief, unbreakable faith that God's real. God's promises are real. God's everything is real. Like anything that God has made, He made with a purpose. He made us with a purpose. Our purpose is to worship Him and praise Him and want to be with Him.
Yeah, to love in the way He does. Questions and things you want to research. So, my question is, why did Abram allow Sarai to marry? It just, none of that made any sense to me. Like,
So that He wouldn't die.
well, but I get that. But you're so selfish that.
A better question would be, why did God punish the people that married her when they didn't know? You know? Like,
Yeah,
and
I guess.
but I guess He didn't punish them so severe that they died. It just said a plague came on them, and they were like, "No, get out." Like,
But maybe it was the doing so that way they knew not to mess with Abram. Because, so I understand his dilemma of, okay, she's beautiful. They're going to want to kill me and take her. But, and knowing that they probably could, in one instant, he probably would be gone. Because they would probably attack and it would be
I
done.
guess in this way it shows that he has somebody on his side that can take them out, and it's probably not a good idea to mess with them.
Yeah. But I don't think that that's what he was thinking at the time. When he
No,
when
I'm
he
talking
did
about
it.
God.
Right, no,
Thought
God,
about
yes.
like, this is how I'm going to use this. I got
Yes.
you.
I'll do it this way.
Like, they won't kill you. They're going to actually tell you to get out.
Like, take her and get out. Why'd you lie? Like, yeah.
Like, why not just come to us? We were sensible people. You just tell us. We weren't going to do that to you.
Well, maybe.
They maybe would have just honored him then.
Yeah.
Because she's beautiful, you know? Like, maybe. Like, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't
don't
know
know.
how. I don't know how it worked back then. I know I would not want to be married off to somebody else. So.
I wouldn't ask, like, I'd die.
Like, it would be
I would just
so,
die.
like, I don't know, it's
Like,
such a weird scenario to kind of put your head in, because it's like, what were you thinking?
it
And
was probably such common practice back then.
maybe,
Like,
but like,
if you want something, you take it, kind of thing.
I guess, but and in the fact that God made marriage as holy as it is, and it's supposed to be, between just the two, it's crazy reading all of these
Well,
other scenarios.
back this time, it wasn't just.
It
It wasn't like that. It
like
wasn't.
that monogamous.
Yeah, where you're only with one person. Like, you're supposed to be, but you could have multiple. But
Do you have any questions?
No.
No? All right, then our God shot. Mine today is, that God can help with all of our problems and promises us blessings in the end, even throughout our lives. God is generous and giving.
My God, shots around the same thing. It's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well then, our quote for today says, And Abram believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness.
Amen.
Genesis 15:6.
Yeah.
I guess it was confusing because it said counted it to him.
And Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord counted him as righteous because of his faith.
Yeah. Yep, that's all for our journals. We're finished with day 16. We're leading up to
The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
we're getting there. Yeah, we've at least heard the name now, and we're getting to where Israel finally starts to be created in that kind of a way. It's exciting. Close this out.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us on Unbreakable Faith. We will see y'all next time.